start of a new year and a new you for both personally and your business. So let's talk about how in 2022, you can take these 5 marketing trends and kill it. Hey everyone, it's Greg Elfrink here. And today I am going through 5 marketing predictions that I have for 2022 that can make your business a lot more money. So as you know, I'm the head of marketing over at Empire Flippers. So I get to see all sorts of things that our customers are doing who are all successful entrepreneurs to grow their business. And as the marketer at Empire Flippers, I have a very unique position of marketing a product that is, one, extremely difficult to market because the niche is very small and most of the people in that niche are jaded to marketing because they're entrepreneurs, right? Like you, they've seen it all. None of the normal tricks really work. So that always makes my marketing a little bit more honed or try to be on the cutting edge of everything, right? But I also run into the issue of having a double-sided marketplace. If you've never done anything with a double-sided marketplace as a marketer or as an entrepreneur, let me tell you, it's really hard. All the tools do not work like they should. There's a lead scoring system in HubSpot that a lot of B2B companies absolutely swear by. Their sales team loves it when that lead score goes off. Doesn't work on a double-sided marketplace because that lead score is set up for 1 customer, not 2 customers. And in order for us to do any transaction, I need to have 2 customers, right? A buyer and a seller. So with that said, I have seen dozens and dozens and dozens of business sold just last year alone, not to mention over the previous almost 6 years of my career. And I read a lot of marketing stuff and watch a lot of marketing videos. If you look at my YouTube history, it's pretty much all very obscure marketing stuff that no one is ever really looking into but me. You know, the video I have like 100 views, like my channel. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the 5 marketing predictions. Number 1, and this should come as absolutely no surprise to anyone, content reigns supreme. Content marketing, content in general, is the most powerful thing you can do in your business. It's something that gives and gives and gives. We just had a recent example of a $26 million Amazon FBA business that listed on our marketplace, and you know where they came from? She came from an article I wrote back in 2017, detailing all the different Amazon FBA, what we learned from selling so much different Amazon FBA businesses. So 4 years, almost 5 years later, that person came into our funnel, listed a $26 million business. Content is not going to go away. SEO will remain an incredibly important channel, and content in general, even non-SEO content, will remain the cornerstone of everything you do. The better content you have, the more you're going to get known, the bigger your brand's going to become. And because you have so much of this content and thought leadership, everything else you do in marketing becomes so much easier. For example, because I do a lot of speeches, I do a lot of content, my team does a lot of content. Whenever I run a YouTube ad, I get entrepreneurs I haven't talked to in a while reaching out to me on Facebook and LinkedIn, like, hey man, I love the ad, but you're interrupting my Justin Bieber video, right? So because of content, it makes everything else easier. If you're a business that does a lot of conferences, your content warms up a lot of those attendees at the conferences for you. So content will reign supreme. Now, if you're in e-commerce, you might be wondering, well, how does this apply to me? Well, it does. It applies to you, perhaps even more so, because most e-commerce entrepreneurs are so focused on paid traffic. Most of them are not doing any kind of content marketing at all, which gives you likely one of the first mover advantages, because as 2022 goes on and later into the decade, content and immersive experiences is going to be front and center as the thing that converts the most people. So let's talk about the next prediction here, and they're somewhat interrelated, but they might not sound like it at first. And that is the creative over the day trader. Now, I've been in marketing for a reasonable amount of time, and I've never been a numbers person. I am not super analytical. I'm more of the big vision guy than the details guy, right? So with that said, this one, I am pretty biased on wanting to see it happening, but I think we are seeing it happen. So you see, in my world of B2B marketing and marketing in general, there is a term that some marketers use called the day trader marketer. Now, the day trader marketer is someone who is an absolute pro at all the analytics, all the Facebook platforms, Google platforms, you name it. They can look at those numbers analytically and say which one that they need to run, so they can do really complex stuff like day parting, where they run an ad for 3 minutes on a Tuesday and they're making 15 grand off of that, like a 10x ROAS during those like 15 minutes, right? The skills of a day trader to read charts, to read those numbers, those graphs, all that kind of stuff really has set them apart over the last 10 or so years with the robust explosion in MarTech and ad tech advertising. So now that is starting to go away, because as you saw in 2021, everything is moving towards a cookieless future, which means first party data is going to reign supreme, and all this other data sources that the day trader marketer uses will suddenly get a huge handicap, a crippling blow, if you will. And we're already seeing this with a lot of people seeing their ad costs rise dramatically. And this is frankly probably going to kill some businesses, if I'm being honest. Already on my Facebook feed, I am seeing very strange ads that are targeting me that I normally would have never gotten. And that is a direct relation with the iOS update. It says I am an iPhone user, I opted out, right? to see what would happen as an experiment. And now I'm getting all these untargeted ads. And iPhone users is a huge swath of Facebook's marketing and Instagram's marketing, right? So because of this, the day trader is starting to die away. So what's going to become more important is the creative, the person who comes up with the thematic campaign, the person who can come up with the unique angles that really sing the emotional song of their targeted audience, really can like present the before and after transformation that their products and service give to those customers, is ultimately who's going to win. Now, even without the iOS update that is crippling a lot of the day traders and giving favor to the creative, this was already happening before that happened. And that's because the AI machine learning systems behind such Google ads and Facebook ads, etc., is getting so good that most of my marketing friends in those ecosystems, their targeting has become so much more simple. One of my friends, I can't believe this, but he told me his best campaigns for his Facebook ad agency is literally when his targeting is anyone above age 18 living in America. And that's it. That's his entire targeting, because the AI has gotten so good, the machine learning has gotten so good to optimize these campaigns. You really don't need the same kind of tool sets and data sets, the data skills of the day trader anymore. The creative is unleashed, allowed to be more free, and doesn't have to worry about that stuff as much as these ad tech platforms get better. So this is great news. And it also relates to content marketing. I said this would relate to the one before, because if ad costs are rising, you know what is a fantastic way that a creative person can get a lot of business for a lot cheaper? You guessed it, content marketing. So if your content marketing is really good and you pair it with those ads, yes, you might be paying more on the ads just like your competitors, but because you're also getting the organic traffic, your overall CAC, customer acquisition cost, is going to be a lot lower, and you're going to be able to compete a lot better against those other competitors of yours who have zero content, right? Because like, oh, it takes too long, I'm never going to invest in it, right? Maybe one day. So you get to build the moat while they are drowning in the increased costs of the paid media, right? All right, prediction number 3. The old faithful of marketing remains as strong as ever, if not even stronger, actually. So by old faithful, I mean email marketing, of course. Email marketing is practically a dinosaur when it comes to internet marketing these days. And people will always say like, oh, this is going to be the death of email marketing, very similar to how they do it with SEO. And they're always 100% completely horribly wrong. Email is the king of all marketing channels, even SEO. SEO, I absolutely love it, but email is the king over all other types of marketing, because unlike other types of marketing, email allows you to build an audience you own. Now, there are ways that your email list could be taken away from you, but it's extremely unlikely that it would ever happen in a million years. So your email list is really one of the only plots of land that you own. Versus if you build a Facebook group, which is something we're looking at doing, you're building on rented land. If you're building a whole content plan based on SEO, again, rented land. Like Google change that algorithm at any time it wants. Facebook ads, Google ads, Amazon ads is all rented, right? Versus your email list is not. And to tie it back to what I was just saying about a cookieless future, email gives you first party data. So you focusing on email while everyone else is focusing on a direct sale, now you have so much more data to play with because first party data is not going away. First party data is still something you're going to be able to use. And with a cookieless future is going to become extremely important for you as a marketer to grow your business. So the more data you can collect that is yours, first party, the better your marketing is going to be overall. And with email, it's one of the only things you can do. Like, hey, I want to promote something, send out an email to like 200,000 people. You can do so much with email marketing beyond just simply, this first party data stuff or just sending out an email. You can build workflows, you can build sequences, you can build trigger emails. One thing that we did last quarter that was really interesting, we had never really tried before, but it makes so much sense, is when someone reads a certain blog post that we know has a lot of value, either emotionally or based on the analytics data we're looking at, we can send what we are calling a trigger email or as you see it email, where if they're in our CRM, they immediately get an email follow-up about 5 minutes after consuming that piece of content to go do the action the blog post wants them to do. So email is so awesome in terms of able to synchronizing so much of your marketing funnel into this holistic play that email is absolutely the most powerful thing in the world. And of course, content as well, because your email itself is a piece of content. So you should be treating it as content. It should be super valuable every time you send an email. You shouldn't just be direct selling them and be super promotional, all that kind of stuff. Now, there's nothing wrong with selling an email. In fact, I believe every email you send should be selling something. Otherwise, what are you doing for the business, right? But you need to position it in such a way where there is value in the email itself. Now, if you want to see an example of this, you can go ahead and subscribe to This Week in M&A down below. That is a brand new email series that we have done. It's a weekly newsletter covering everything happens in our space, basically, all the big tidbits and small stuff that's really interesting. But what's the backstory of This Week in M&A is that used to be a really boring content wrap up where we just posted basically a laundry list of every content piece that we ever published, whether it was on our site or on other people's sites, right? But now it's become a show. It itself is valuable. And we're still selling in there. In fact, we have a section in there called Hidden Gems that we look at businesses that haven't gotten a lot of traction and for whatever reason on our marketplace, and we promote them. And that has actually led to people unlocking the business, getting on buyer-seller calls, and even purchasing businesses, which is awesome. It has a gigantic read rate that I absolutely love. That seems to go up every week, which is great to see. So if you want to see how you can make email marketing into an actual show that has value beyond just selling, click the link down in the description below and you can sign up. Also, make sure you hit the type form at the end of This Week in M&A and say, great job, and leave your feedback, because my writer, Craig, would appreciate that. He put in a ton of work to make that happen. All right, we're getting down to the bottom here. So communities will take the stage. That's marketing prediction number 4. So what do I mean by communities? This could mean anything from a Facebook group, a Discord group, or some other way you're organizing your audience around your brand in a meaningful way. And this community will allow you to do a lot of different things. So as you can see with the explosion of Web3, if you're looking at all that kind of stuff, community seems to be the main talking point of how they're making this stuff happen. But in reality, none of this is necessarily new. I think it will become more important in 2022. And as we move into a more immersive first, disruption less kind of marketing in the 2020s. But community allows you to do a lot of different things in terms of leverage. So let's walk it through how you can use this. So let's say you are an e-commerce business focusing on fitness. Maybe you're selling fitness equipment, right? So you build a Facebook community that's free, that is sharing tips about how to lose weight, how to gain muscle, whatever your main thing is. That's a broad parent topic. Even if you're only selling jump ropes, you can do this, right? Because jump ropes is a fitness thing. You get a bunch of people in there, you start sharing valuable content every week. So you're promoting your content as a new distribution channel, one that you partially own still on rented land, but at least the moderator isn't going to kick you out because it's your group, right? So you get to do that. And you start building up this virality, because as that Facebook group grows with membership, Facebook will start actually telling other people to join that group, which leads into a great perpetual flywheel of viral growth. And over time, that community will rely on you less and less to be the thought leadership and the person providing value, because there will be leaders that start distancing themselves from the rest of the pack or differentiating themselves by them leaving comments, leaving posts with their own journeys on different things, right? And then they eventually become the celebrities where people join that group to actually see what they're saying. So your brand gets to have all this benefit of basically UGC, user-generated content thought leadership, being done for you. Now, I've seen this happen in the wild in a few different ways. My buddies, Mark and Gail over at Authority Hacker, fantastic course on SEO. They have one of the best communities when it comes to the Authority Hacker group. And I personally know a good friend of mine that bought that course, not for the course, but specifically because there's one guy in their pro Facebook group that is always commenting and helping people. And he wanted to get closer to that guy and see everything that he's saying because he loves that dude. So that's an example of how thought leadership can grow, like not even your own, can grow your group. So you have the distribution channel, you got the viral growth, and depending on what you're setting up your community on, say Facebook, to keep with the example, you can use that data in things like Facebook ads or to promote other things. Now, it doesn't have to be Facebook, it could be Discord, it could be Slack, it really could be anything that can organize a community around your brand. This will build deep entrenched roots with your brand. So if you have a long sales cycle especially, this is fantastic, like us, right? I've participated in groups since 2016 as one of the mainstays. Like if you look at our Facebook Facebook traffic coming in from Google Analytics, it's not from our social pages. It's not from the business page that we have where we get barely any engagement until basically this year. It's really coming from all these groups that I'm constantly participating in. So community will become a big thing in 2022, and you can use it no matter where you are, whether it's a short sales cycle or a long sales cycle. These work extremely well with long sales cycles, but short sales cycles can work as well. If you're afraid you're too niche to do a community, just remember what I do. There's very few people in my niche, so like keep that in mind. But also a trick you can do is just go one category up. So again, if you're a jump rope seller, you go a category up. What's the parent emotional category of jump roping? Fitness, right? You can now go down. Maybe the fitness you're focusing on is muscle building or losing belly fat or whatever, right? But you can always go up or down on broadness to narrow to help you create your community that's still related to your own product. And over time, this can become an extremely powerful content distribution channel for you, filled with fans that will probably go and share it. Because guess what? Because they're in your community, they like you, they want you to succeed, right? So that's my tip number 4. Let's get to 5 now. In 2021 and 2020, we saw the printing press go burr. So this final tip is a classic printing press of marketing. If you want to make more money in your business and you can only dedicate to one skill in marketing, this is the skill you want to do, and you outsource everything else to, say, an agency. And that skill is copywriting. Copywriting will become ever more increasingly important as people lose their attention span to the TikToks of the world, as people just care less, as people don't want to be disrupted. You have less time than ever to capture someone's attention. And here I am on this super long video that I thought was going to be a short video. Hopefully you're still here. Help out my retention report with a subscribe, please. But yeah, so copywriting will become the absolutely most powerful thing for you to focus on, especially again into that cookieless world and where content becomes more important. Copywriting makes the backbone of pretty much every marketing principle on this list, and pretty much every marketing you could ever do, from renting a billboard or otherwise. Copywriting is the king. So if you want to focus on one thing, copywriting is it. All right, guys, that's my 5 predictions. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment with what your predictions are. Or do you think these predictions are off base? Tell me your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.